to start this little mini series much earlier than now, but due to a lot of different hard things, I just didn't have it to give. I just had a really tough week, and it was extra painful because it's been really, to be quite honest, it's been one of the hardest years of my life, and I don't say that lightly because I've been through a lot of different really heavy things throughout my life, but this last year has just been kind of one hardship after the other, and it's been really starting to wear on me. But the year is almost over, and I'm hoping my tide will change. And in the meantime, every Christmas, I really like to try to make at least a few new Christmas ornaments because I really like hanging personal things up on our tree instead of just getting all the same color ornaments. I always have grand plans to fill the whole tree with my own ornaments, but more than any other year, this year that's just not gonna happen. It wouldn't be enjoyable because I'm just so worn down. But I had an idea that I thought would be a good ornament that I'm hoping doesn't take too much out of me. I got these, I think they're supposed to be coaster molds a while ago, and the reason that I like it so much and the reason that I got it is because it has diffraction, I think is the word, grooves in it, so when you put resin pieces and cure it, it fills in these little grooves so you get rainbow resin. So that's what I tried to do, and it was pretty early in my resin days, and I didn't know that I couldn't use UV resin in these coasters. I didn't really know that there was a difference at the time, but obviously it's solid blue, not clear, and the only way UV resin cures is if it is in the light of your lamp or whatever you use. So the fact that these two even remotely turned out, I think is kind of impressive. Maybe not so much for me, but for the mold. The first one on the top, this is two together. I have a star with a bunch of beads, and I think if I kind of tilt it around, maybe it's hard to see the rainbow shimmer because when it did cure and I pulled it up, it was still wet underneath, and that's the part that gives you the rainbow shine. I even try to keep it clear all the way through and just use these embeds, because then on the other side, so this side is UV resin, but I thought, you know, just for the heck of it, totally intentional, not only am I gonna put UV resin into a mold that's not made for it, I decided to also use some alcohol inks, which are not really recommended to use with UV resin either, but I've had really interesting kind of cool results for it, so I thought I'd just kind of go for it just to kind of test it out. The one thing about it though is that I don't know if you can see that there are some pretty large holes in it. I wasn't able to cure all the way through, but I just thought if I stuck it to the other one that's nice and solid, that at least it wouldn't break apart if it fell off the tree. I'm not sure with how I feel about how it ended up. I'm not sure if it's to everyone's taste, but it's just the first few that I made with it. So this time around, I'm actually gonna break out the epoxy resin, which I tend not to use just because having to weigh it, ratio it, and mix it together is not only a lot of extra brain work, but a lot of physical work when crafting is already kind of hard for me in general because I get tired really quickly. Having to do all that like labor before you even get started is pretty hard for me. Also, it gives me low-key anxiety to use epoxy resin because with UV resin, I can work on it all at the same time with 30 to 60 second cure times. With epoxy resin, it takes at least 24 hours. And so when I use it, especially for bigger projects, it just feels like there's no way to know that it's gonna work out. And especially if you have a big project, you're like, I have a really hard time waiting and just being like, did it turn out? Did it not turn out? I don't know. I hope I didn't waste a bunch of resin and whatever I put in it. So because it's like not something I commonly use or I'm more comfortable with, once I mix the epoxy resin, I think I'm just gonna pour it in clear to each circle because I'm not sure how all the colors or if I put embeds on how that's all gonna turn out. So I figured I'll start simple with just a clear pour. That way tomorrow when I pop them out, I can add design to it, whether that's painting on the non-rainbow side or sticking a few things on with resin or sticking on resin. I think that will be more enjoyable because I only have 4. So if it's gonna take a 24-hour period, I just want to make at least 4 that I know will work out, even if I don't like the outcome tomorrow. But it would be a bummer if I filled them all with everything that I wanted, and then tomorrow it's just ruined coaster number 2, which I guess I'll just make one of these, but I think it'll look really cool even just with paint. So that's my plan. This is the first one. I know it's not spectacular, but to give me the idea. And I think especially with the type of Christmas tree that me and my partner have, it's gonna look really cool. So there will be more of that tomorrow, and I don't know how many I'll make before Christmas, or maybe I'll make some other ornaments, but I know there's only so many days to Christmas, but I just really wanted to at least make a little mini series because it's just been a really hard past couple of days and I just kind of need something good. So wish me luck. I'll let you know the results tomorrow. See you in 24 hours.